Hello, work life warriors. I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to come past and do a book report, except it's really an article review report. So, today's article is another one of my favorite articles. I have a collection of favorite articles that I wanted to kind of do a video on, a discussion about. And today's article is The Leader's Guide to Corporate Culture. It has several authors, but I absolutely love this article. I've read it now many times, and I thought it would be a good idea to discuss it with you so you can understand what type of work environment that you're in. And if you're planning to move to a different type of work environment, that you know what you're looking for. So, this article talks about that there's 8 distinct culture styles, and it talks about the actual culture styles and where they would fit on an axle of flexibility and stability versus independent and interdependent. And so, if you can see, this is the axle that it sits on, and there are 8 different styles. The top ones are enjoyment, learning, purpose, and caring cultures, and the bottom ones are results, authority, safety, and order. And it's arranged from the more independence and stability you have, you're down here, and up here, it's more independence and flexibility. Over here, it's more flexibility versus interdependence, and down here, it's interdependence with stability. And so it planted them on an axle, and kind of the top half to me is where most people would like to be in an organization, because it allows for purposeful work, or at least to make you feel like you're in a family that's doing impactful work, as opposed to just a robot pressing a button, or just there as a number to meet whatever goals the company have without taking your needs and wants into consideration. And so it talks a little bit about the pros and cons of each culture and style, and I'll talk to you a little bit about it, and then I'll just name some of the companies that the article talked about as far as where they fall on the axle. So, caring culture style. So, and then also in the article they rank them based on what people really want. So it's ranked on what people really want, but the percentage kind of tell you how many of these organizations have this going on. So it says that every culture style has strengths and weaknesses. The table below summarizes the advantages and disadvantages of each style and how frequently it appears as a defining culture characteristic among the companies in our studies. And so 63% of the organizations, and it was ranked 1 or 2, are caring, which is classified as warm, sincere, and relational. The advantages are improved teamwork, engagement, communication, trust, and a sense of belonging. We can all attest to how, when the teamwork, the dream work. We all know that to be true. That's in any team, whether it's a family, whether it's a religious organization or work, any team that works well together can accomplish the goal. Engagement is very important, because you cannot be productive if you're not engaged, of course. Communication is a big one, because it doesn't matter if you have a goal if you can't communicate the goal. And it doesn't matter if you have great people if you all cannot communicate your feelings, wants, beliefs, and where you think the project should go, and communicate along the way to execute. Trust is always a big one in when you're working in groups, because if you don't trust people, you spend more time covering yourself than actually participating in a group, being engaged and productive. And a sense of belonging. Everyone wants to feel like they belong at work. Everyone wants to feel like that at work is an extension of their play life, where they can come to work and be creative and innovative and add some much needed value in the world. We derive a lot of self esteem, self worth, self value from work. And so people want work to feel um they belong there, like they're making a difference. So it says that the disadvantages are overemphasis on consensus building may reduce exploration of options, stifle competitiveness, and slow decision making. Some of these things, I guess, can be a disadvantage depending on what type of organization that you're in, what type of company or business. But I see that in my opinion, competition is not necessarily a good thing. You don't want people in your business competing with each other when they're supposed to be one unit. Can you imagine if your heart and your brain were competing against each other? If a business, a company, an organization represents an organism, one unit. I don't understand the idea of having people compete against each other. So it may be a good disadvantage to stifle competitiveness within the organization and slow decision making. Sometimes new information becomes available while you're gathering data to make a decision, which ultimately leads you to making the best decision. And so that's not necessarily a bad thing, depending on the company. Um, Purpose, which is the next one, is characterized by purpose driven, idealistic, and tolerant. The are improve appreciation for diversity, sustainability, and social responsibility. Of course, again, we all want to feel like what we're doing is adding value, that work is more than just a paycheck, and we're not getting up to go to work just because we have to. We want our work to be purposeful. So, although many of us want purposeful work, only 9% of companies, for the most part, have a purpose driven culture. And the disadvantage is the overemphasis on a long term purpose and ideals may get in the way of practical and immediate concerns. So, again, I think the balance of that would be that you could focus on both short term and long term, because you want to make sure that you're practically accomplishing all of your daily short term goals, because without that, you'll never make it to the long term, of course. The next one is a learning organization. And there's a massive push for this one because learning, or especially in this competitive world, we need organizations to be more innovative, to be more creative. And in order to do so, we have to constantly learn as professionals. It's not just we get the job and we stop learning because we have the position, but we continue to learn and develop and to grow, and not just professionally, but personally as well, because working on ourselves wholly or holistically will make sure that we are more than just proficient professionals, but we're actually in our zone of genius or zone of excellence. And so a lot of companies are pushing towards being a learning organization because they want their employees to continue to grow, to keep up with the changing times, to be able to, suggest and innovate and grow with the company, the industry, the field, or whatever is changing within the company and outside of the company. But we don't want, it just to be for the benefit of the company. We also want to think about how can we use learning organizations to improve the employee, make them more well-rounded and not just professionally strong, but personally strong. And learning organization advantages are improved innovation, agility, and organizational learning. These are only 77% of organizations. And the disadvantages is the overemphasis on exploration that may lead to a lack of focus and the inability to exploit existing advantages. So, I don't know about that one. I don't know if there's a such thing as an overemphasis on exploration. If Only, I guess the only way I could think of that is if you're not satisfied, but that would be an oxymoron. If you're learning and growing, then of course you can't be stagnant. So I don't think that overemphasis on exploration may lead to a lack of focus. Well, I believe all employees make up the company. So as long as the employee is strengthening themselves, then they're fortifying the company. The fourth one at the top, which is by far my favorite, and I believe that this should be the undertone of all organizations, that this itself can be an and for all other organizations. I mean, all of the cultures. So it can be caring and purpose and, but I feel like the foundation of all jobs, careers, work should be enjoyment. And although enjoyment are only 2% of companies, and that's out of the eight, enjoyment is the least popular culture, it should be the most. It should be 100%. Each culture can add enjoyment in it, whether it's caring, purpose, learning, results, authority, safety, or order. You can have order and enjoyment. It's one of those and things, and it is characterized by playfulness, instinctive, fun loving. And fun and love and playfulness can be added to anything because play is a biological need. Food, sleep, sex, play, those four are our biological needs. We have biological drives that must be satisfied. Even though we work, we forget to play. And so if we make work, regardless of what type of work you do or what type of culture you're in, if you make enjoyment the foundation of it, more people will be engaged and productive. The advantages of an engaged enjoyment culture is improved employee morale, engagement, and creativity. And of course, engagement is all that a company needs as the catalyst to start producing innovative results, to start producing the type of results that they want to, because as long as employees are not engaged, they do not reach those results. But if you make employees the environment so that employees want to be there, want to do a good job, want to continue partnering with your company, then all of the other seven cultures will work more efficiently because a person wants to do it. We know human beings do what we want to do. We also do what we need to do, but we don't do it to the top of our ability or the best of our ability, or we don't do it with enthusiasm because it's not what we want to do. So having work move into the arena of enjoyment will drastically improve and increase just productivity in general, innovation in general, employee morale in general. And because the company is made up of employees, that's exactly what you want. So I believe, and what Be Social Solution does is try to add enjoyment to all work cultures, to try to add enjoyment to work, to make work an extension of our play life. And it says that although these are only 2% of organizations, I hope my vision is in the near future, it's 100% of organizations, in addition to other work cultures. The disadvantages, they say, is overemphasis on autonomy and engagement may lead to a lack of discipline and create possible compliance and governance issue. I would disagree because, again, a business, a company, an organization is an organism, and it's only as strong as its weakest part. So if a person is feeling not up to the task, it has nothing. How can I say this? Taking a person's autonomy away doesn't make them work harder, right? If a person is not disciplined, punishment doesn't normally, unless it's extreme punishment, which has a lot to do with fear. Other than that, it won't make a person do more or engage more or produce more or even just be excited more. So I can't understand. Again, an autonomous, strong person who is disciplined, you want their needs to be satisfied as an individual first before you focus on the whole, because again, the whole is only as strong as the individual. So I can't necessarily understand that being a disadvantage. But if you are the type of leader who wants control, um, then I can see how it can be a problem. But again, you're not allowing people to live up to their fullest potential and to grow and expand. And so um, I think the problem would be the manager and not the employee or the environment, the enjoyment environment. But anyway, so then now we're moving to the bottom half. So those were the top four. Now we're moving to the bottom half. And this is the most popular type of culture in America, in particularly, which is a result culture. It is based on achievement driven, goal focus. The advantages are it improves execution, external focus, capability building, and goal achievement. This is 89% of organization, businesses, or companies. The disadvantages, I believe that there are many more than were given in the article, but overemphasis on achieving results may lead to communication and collaboration breakdown and higher levels of stress and anxiety. And we know for a fact that both stress and anxiety um, are hurting employees. Stress in general is killing us. 90% of all doctor visits are stress related. And so considering that 89% of organizations are result driven, and it um, ultimately leads people to live stressful lives that bring anxiety, is not helpful. It is actually creating more of a problem because in addition to the environment being toxic, it causes the economy money as well, because people who are sick and days mixed from work and turnover and healthcare costs, it's just a snowball effect. And so although it is the most popular culture, I think we should start shifting towards that. We've seen a great resignation, and I think it has much to do with that. And so I'm hoping that over the next decade or so, I and many other people can work hard to kind of reform the business environment so it's not based on profits or results, that we care about more about the people over profits, and care about our planet and the people who help grow our businesses and the communities that our businesses are located in. And so the next one is authority culture, which is bold, decisive, and dominant. The advantages are an improved speed of decision making and responsiveness to threat or crisis. These are only 4% of companies, businesses, organizations. The disadvantages is the overemphasis on strong authority and bold decision making. It may lead to politics, conflicts, and it's um, psychologically unsafe work environment, which is the worst because again, you spend less time doing work and more time covering yourself. And it is just the worst feeling to go to work and feel like that at any given day, your job is not secure. Job insecurity is one of the most stressful factors that we have within the workplace. And so authority cultures tend to be extremely tense. The next one is a safety culture, which are only 8% of businesses, companies, and organizations. It is characterized by realistic, careful, and prepared. There are some organizations that have to focus on safety. Their advantages are improved risk management, stability, and business continuity. The disadvantages are the overemphasis on standardization and formalization may lead to bureaucracy and inflexibility and dehumanization of the work environment, and that's only 8%. And I read a lot of books. I actually was reading a book right now called humble consultant, and it was talking about a company that focused so much on safety that it made it psychologically unsafe for people to speak up and talk about the things that were going wrong just because of the politics or how it looked for them to speak up for being whistleblowers. So again, some organizations must practice safety, but it doesn't have to be an either or. It can be an and both. And the last one is order, which are about 15% of organization businesses and companies. Orders characterized by rule abiding, respectful, cooperative. The advantages of this type of culture are improve operational efficiency, reduce conflict, and greater civic mindedness. The disadvantages is overemphasis on rules and traditions may reduce individualism, stifle creativity, and limit organizational agility. And so 15% is a large number considering it is invalidating the individual, and the individuals are who make up the organization, business, or company. And so we must keep that in mind at all times. We cannot invalidate the person to fit the means or to meet the means. And so I really do believe that enjoyment can be, in addition to all of these work cultures, it can be caring and enjoyment, order and enjoyment, safety and enjoyment, authority and enjoyment. It really doesn't have to be either or. The article does talk about that there's some environments that blend the two. There are blended cultures, which I think would be the best, because an either or doesn't fit, because all people are different, and you will get people who come into your organization, business, or company, and that the work culture just doesn't work for them. It doesn't fit, and it doesn't mean that they cannot thrive or add some value to your company. It just means that you have to make a little bit of adjustment, shift around a couple of things so that it's not just a dominant culture, but many subcultures can exist in a line, I guess, with the main culture or the dominant culture. So the article goes on to name some companies that are within the group, and I'll just talk about some. So within the learning organizations, they talk about Tesla. And of course, that makes sense because Tesla was always Nikola Tesla. He was always ahead of his time. So learning will make sense for an organization that's like Tesla, because they're an innovative company. They are ahead of what the standard is. So a learning organization is Tesla. One that is enjoyment would be Zappos. And again, I believe enjoyment should be the foundation of all work cultures, but Zappos believe in have fun. The game is a lot more enjoyable when you're trying to do more than make money. And I absolutely agree. So a purpose organization would be Whole Foods. I remember reading a case about Whole Foods in undergrad or graduate, maybe, where some sort of natural disaster affected the store. The owner, and it was only one store at the time, the owner thought that that was it. They were going out of business, but they had created a community so strong that when the owner showed up to the store that was completely damaged, they had so many volunteers already there helping him to clean up the damage, because the grocery store meant more to them than just a grocery store. It was a community. It provided an outlet for their type of lifestyle that before then didn't exist. And so when you think about a purpose organization, it would be something like Whole Foods, who have a purpose greater than just feeding people. It's a matter of lifestyle. So caring organizations will be like Disney. Of course, it's just an entertainment company. And so they want to arouse emotions for you. They want to care about you and give you stories to help, express yourself, to reflect what you're going through. It's like art imitating life, so it has to be a caring experience. When you go to Disney World and you spend so much money to get there and to be there, it has to just be more than just about money to do those things. It has to be more than just about entertainment. It has to touch you, your emotions deep into your human experience, to make you, want to be a part of the actual movement, not just a job or not just a company or something that you consume, but something that grew up with you, a part of your life, kind of like a milestone. So, as far as the results driven organization, that's GSK. It says, I tried to keep us focused on a very clear strategy of modernizing ourselves. So, focus on strategies and keep us focused on results. Order would be SEC or SEC. I'm not really familiar with them, but it says rulemaking is a key function of the commission. And when we are setting the rules for the security markets, there are many rules. We, the SEC, SEC, ha ha ha, must follow. Ha 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 ha, that's funny. So, of course, kind of like a government agency would have to be into order or authority. That makes sense. So, speaking of authority, they have a company, Hau, HUAWEI. I know that's we. Hawi. It says, we have a wood spirit in our company. In the battle with lions, woods have terrifying abilities with a stronger desire to win and no fear of losing. They stick to the goal firmly, making the lions exhausted in every possible way. And so, very interesting to picture business as a natural selection. Lion versus the wolf. Okay. And then the last one, which is safety. They have Lloyd's of London, and they said to protect themselves, businesses should spend time understanding what specific threats they may be exposed to and speak to experts who can help. So they really practice preventative processes there, or preventative thinking, to make sure that they can stay safe and they can protect those around them. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to say that most of the environments that I was in were either results, authority, or order. Mostly results and order, which are, to me, what most organizations are. Out of the list, it says the top two. Number one, 89% are result, and 63% are caring. I don't know about you, but I have yet to see that. Please share with me and you're in the chat if you work for a caring organization and name them for me. Please tell me what type of organization you work for. Is it caring, purpose, learning, enjoyment, results, authority, safety, or order? Share with me in the chat what are the advantages and disadvantages of working in these environments. How do you grow? How does it stifle you? Just share with me what type of environment that you think is best. And I am going to continue to try to give you one of my favorite articles every month and kind of discuss it with you. I'm hoping that it's helpful in at least you identifying what type of organization that you're in, if you like it, if it works well with what your goals and dreams and objectives are, or if you need to make a change, what type of environment are you looking for? Do you agree that business needs to be reformed, that we need to start focusing on people over profits and get rid of the it's just business mentality? Please share with me in the chat your thinking behind this. And as always, I hope this helps. I will be back next Sunday with either a book review, a poetry discussion, or an article review. So have a great day, work-life warriors. Make sure to read. It is so beneficial to your health and well-being. It makes make sure that your brain continues to grow and develop, because your brain is a muscle. So if you're not using it, you lose it. And the way you use it is to use your imagination, is to read, is to meditate, is to do all the things that will help build it. make it stronger, make it more make it quicker and give you more clarity. And so it's your responsibility to read, go out of your way and do so. And also reading is a great tool for stress management. It's a way to go into yourself, to learn something new, to up level any weaknesses you may have. And it is your responsibility to manage your stress. So use reading as a tool to do so, and to transport you to other worlds, or to give you whatever tools that you need to develop in life, to grow, to be the best you can be, to have the things you want, to go where you want to go, to be who you want to be. So again, I hope this helps, work life warriors. Have a great day.